Hey there. Today's episode of Capital Region Business Podcast, we're talking with Kate Taylor, and Kate's the owner of Galway Rock Winery. And we're going to talk about what they're doing, what makes their product special, and a little bit about their business. After all, we like to get to know small businesses, and they are kicking rear end with doing what they're doing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Without further ado, Kate, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Kate is the owner. Her and her husband Ryan are the owner of Galway Rock Winery. And Kate, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about kind of what you guys are about and what you're up to in Galway Rock Winery. That's a tongue.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Thanks. So we obviously we make wine here in Ballston Lake. I'm working from home today, like everybody else. We started the business about 6 years ago in my parents' garage and built it up. And we make, traditional style, a lot by hand wine. And then last year, so we started the business in Galway, hence the name Galway Rock. And last year we moved to Ballston Lake so we could expand. We got some pretty cool, awesome equipment so that we could do things a little bit less by hand. The best thing we got was a forklift, which is amazing because we can carry lots of things around at once. And we got a really awesome wine press and some big new tanks. And we've been growing and we were able to open a tasting room.
Nice.
And we did a little renovating there. And it's been a really cool project. So now you can come visit us and see what we're about.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, I wasn't not a huge wine connoisseur, but our assistant Jess had mentioned that she's been there a bunch of times, and just a really, really cool place. We'll put the link in below later on for everybody who's listening to get on there and make sure they check you out. I was kidding earlier. I mentioned that going in for a beer the other night in my fridge, I did notice a couple of the bottles of the rosé in there. So we're definitely. I knew once I saw it, I said, man, because Jess had me get on your website and check things out, and when I did, I said, yeah, that bottle looks familiar.
Yeah, we're Galway Rock, but we're also Saratoga Sparkling Company and Ravinia Hill. We are one winery, but we have 3 different brands. And they're just, they got started at different times and they have different stories, a little bit of a different flavor. So if you see Saratoga Sparkling Company, which is all bubbles, or Ravinia Hill, which is from our single vineyard source in Skinny Atlas, those are also made at the same winery that Galway Rock is by myself.
Nice. So a little bit about the wines, like how many different bottles do you guys make, or different varieties, that sort of thing?
We have, I think, about 17 wines right now.
Okay.
And they range kind of from dry to semi-sweet. We have like 1 or 2 sweeter wines. And when I say they're made in the traditional style, they're just, we use grapes and we turn grapes directly into wine. There's not a lot of processing that goes along with it. So really more like what, anybody's grandparents did in their basement, or, what a farmer does, with the grapes that they have to preserve. There's not a lot of like high tech things happening in the wine, which is kind of neat.
Okay, that's cool. How long have you guys been open?
So this is our 6th year. Okay. And it's our 2nd year of having the tasting room. So we went through 1 full year of the tasting room open. Before that, we just did wholesale. So like liquor stores, we're in a lot of liquor stores. We're starting to become in a lot of restaurants. And then we were also at the Troy Farmers Market and for a little while, the Saratoga Farmers Market as well.
Okay. Now, when you get in with these liquor stores, how does that work? How do you get your name out there, and how do you get involved with getting in the door with them?
So my husband Ryan would go and he would pitch them and bring wine and try to let the liquor store owners taste the wine, and then they would agree to sell it, and we would go in and we would tastings. A lot of times on a Friday you can go in and get a tasting in a liquor store, and get to try it before you buy it, and liquor store owners really liked it because we priced our wines very affordable, I think, in the marketplace. We didn't want them to be too high. And we have really good packaging, and we're local. And what a lot of people don't realize is in New York State, you can only own one liquor store. So you can't own a chain of liquor stores. So every liquor store that you go to in New York State is a mom and pop shop, which is pretty cool. So you get to know the owner when you walk in the door, because they're the ones buying the wines. It's really neat.
That's true, because we go we vacation down in Florida, and they have, I don't know, is it the ABC stores or whatever it is there. It's like, yeah, it's just like a huge conglomerate, and you can tell there's no, it's very much like chain oriented. You know?
Yeah. So that's why each one has a different feel. I mean, you go to a big one like Exit 9, they've got cool classes and stuff like that, but that's really just one family doing a good job, you know?
Yeah, we've done a lot of business with those guys. That's interesting, huh? Well, so let's talk about the tasting room. Did you guys fit this up yourself, or how did that whole thing come about?
Well, I kind of designed it. I wanted it to be really like open concept. And then we had a construction company come in, and they gutted it. The only thing left from the original building is the roof. Everything else is brand new.
Wow.
And it took a while. It took almost a whole year to do. But we just wanted to be really simple and inviting, and feel like, feel kind of cool, but like you were at home at the same time.
Yeah, it gives you that feel like you're just almost kind of in the kitchen, right? Like you're part of, right? Yeah, it's nice and open, and yeah, well designed. Inside the tasting room, what kind of events do you guys hold there, or what's your specialty in drawing people in?
Sure, you could come in, you could just do a tasting, or you could come in and get a glass of wine and sit on the patio and have a cheese board. But we also do public events where we're having a ladies' night. We do yoga once a month. Just a bunch of different fun things like paint and sip and things like that. But then we also we do rent it out for a lot of bridal showers, baby showers, a lot of baby showers at the winery. It's kind of funny. Rehearsal dinners. We haven't had a wedding yet, because we're more of 50 people type of venue for a sit down meal, but we've done a couple charity functions. I mentioned the cornhole tournament we did for the Black and Blue fundraiser and stuff like that. So, it's a cool place to hang.
Yeah. Huh. Now, how many people would you have on a given wine tasting, event?
All right. So if the Spasity Brew Bus pulls in, they will bring us 20 people, and they'll line the bar. It's really kind of fun. But on a given day, we'll have, every person on the patio, every table on the patio will be filled in the summertime, and we'll have people at the tasting bar, and, people just come and they hang out for an hour and then they go, it's kind of neat.
Yeah. Okay. So, now when you have these people, is that something you do food for? Do you guys do your own stuff? Do you bring vendors in? How's that work?
Oh, yeah. So we have, like I said, we have the cheese boards, and you can do a pairing where you do your tasting and have a cheese board at the same time.
Yeah.
For private events, we bring in a caterer, because all we're really equipped to do is kind of like light finger food,
Okay.
I love to cook, but I don't do it professionally.
Yeah.
So we have really cool, upper crust came. They have a really cool vintage pizza truck that they brought.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people for their private events, they'll go down and they'll get stuff from Augie's and bring that for their event, or they'll get a caterer and come in. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. Nice. So getting into the sales things, right? And as we kind of, head down the path of, how your business is doing now with the current environment and changes, just specifically compared to last year, how would you say sales were overall? And what type of year, first quarter were you guys having?
Yeah, so because we're new, we just started this new expansion a year ago. We expect our sales to go up every year as we grow, because we're growing. We started at 40 cases 6 years ago. Now we're at a 2,000 case winery. We hope to someday be a 10,000 case winery. Only way to get there is to sell more every year. So we were doing good. We had doubled our sales in January and February, which is what we were hoping to do, what we had expected.
Nice.
And now we are we're okay. We are doing just what we did last year this March.
Okay.
So maybe a little bit better than last year. But by no means the doubling that we were expecting, which so for us, in this time when people are losing their jobs and not being able to work, because we're essential, we can work, which is great. And we can still sell through 2 of our sales channels, which has been, definitely a blessing. So we're holding our own, and we hope that everything gets back to normal soon.
Yeah.
And then people can come back and we can continue to grow the way we hoped.
That's good. So obviously you guys are on a constant trajectory upward, it sounds like. However, right now it's just, we're in the midst of this whole COVID-19 thing, right? Mm-hmm. So would you say that, like in our business, there's a little bit of seasonality, right? And it all is based on supply and demand at that given time in the market of homes and neighborhoods and, all that sort of thing. So in your business, would you say, is there any type of seasonality that you guys brace for or ramp up for or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. So our business kind of goes up all year long. And then right after New Year's, it just drops off a cliff. So we have the holiday hangover, right? Because after New Year's, you're not partying anymore. And you just, you
some people are.
You got to tighten the belt. You got to pay for those Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
You hunker down in your house. So from January until right before, Easter is when it kind of goes a little dead. And then right around Easter time, it starts picking up and going uphill, until, right now we're kind of kicking off rosé season right now is what we would normally be doing.
Okay.
It's a beautiful spring. They want people to be outside. They want to sit on their patio with a bottle of wine, have some, kick the grill on, So this is when it starts, our season starts to launch.
Good. Well, hopefully that happens. And how would you say, so getting involved into the discussion around the COVID-19, how would you say that has impacted your business currently?
Okay, so we are manufacturing, but we're also technically like a restaurant. So you could come and sit down and hang out. So we had to shut that part down. So you can only walk in the door right now and buy a bottle and then leave.
Okay.
You can also order from us online.
Okay.
And we will deliver it to you. We'll deliver you wine, or we can put it in the mail. We can mail you wine.
Yeah.
So it's affected our business in that we don't really get to see the customers all that much. We used to people always joke that, you go into a brewery and there's tons of people in there, right? They have big staff, whatever. You go into a winery and normally you end up meeting the owners because the staff is much smaller in a winery.
Mm-hmm.
Just the nature of our business. So if you're going to come into the tasting room, we're going to get to meet our customers. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But we're not really doing a lot of that right now. We are hand delivering wine, which is neat. And people are still buying it, everybody's stuck at home. Kind of like a holiday. It's like Thanksgiving all over again.
Yeah.
We're Groundhog's Day mixed with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So really right now we're focused on production. We're focused on deliveries, keeping our distributors supplied, and we're working on projects. We're going to start painting doors. I was mentioning we're gonna fix up these sheds that we have in the back that are falling down. We're just going to kind of get our projects done, and then hopefully, when we are ready to open our doors back up again, it'll be even better than last year.
Yeah, I call that project jam, right? So make a list of all the stuff that needs to get done and just bang it out, Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you got the local delivery. That's would you say it's kicked up since this whole?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Basically, we've replaced our tasting room sales with local delivery sales, which is wonderful. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so we got local delivery. We closed the tasting room, and how about your staff? Have you had any ill effects, or how has that helped you guys, or how has it affected you guys?
So we had to furlough. We have one full-time employee, and she mostly works in the tasting room, and she does production.
Okay.
So that means sometimes we're bottling, sometimes we're in the tasting room with customers. So we had to furlough her. Fortunately, she has the ability to work for her mother-in-law instead. So she went right into another job.
Good.
And, we really want her back as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But we did have to let her go for a little while.
Okay. So talk to me about, I'm just thinking out loud here. So you guys said, you did 2,000 cases. When you get to 10,000 cases, what type of increase in staff does that require, if at all, or how does that work? Like when you project up to that?
So we will probably, we'll definitely have to hire more staff members. We're working on putting in a vineyard, so we would definitely need someone else to help out. My husband will do the vineyard, but we'll still need help in the vineyard. So between hiring somebody for the vineyard and the staff that we already have, we probably have to hire another like 2 people full time.
Okay.
And then we will continue to increase our part-time staff. In the spring and summer and fall, we have part-time staff who work at the farmers markets, and then they'll help in the tasting room as it gets busier.
Yep.
And then, we kind of go down to the bare bones, the full-timers just through the winter as we work on projects and get the books cleaned up and all those fun businessy things that we do all winter.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Have you looked at any of the, being a small business, have you looked at any of the laws in place for getting the grants or that sort of thing? Is that something you guys have explored yet or will you?
Yeah, we are exploring that. As far as I know, there's a bunch of different loan products that you can take out. And that's like the next thing that we're going to do. We're kind of waiting for some of the analysis to get done. I know there's quite a few accounting firms and law firms that are looking at those guidelines so that people know how to use it properly.
Yeah. I guess, the objective would be if you don't need to take advantage of them, great. But obviously, if they're there and there's a way to leverage that for the market and supply and demand, that would, seem to be something that we're also going to be interested in knowing more about,
Yeah.
What would you say, so regarding changes that you're making and kind of, are there any, would you say there's any opportunities with the changes you've had to implement or, with the environment and COVID-19, kind of creeping into our businesses here, is there anything specifically that you guys say that you might be able to implement going forward for future business? Not necessarily a silver lining, but is there anything from that you think you might be able to utilize going forward?
Well, I think that people are going to be a little bit more conscious when they're going out for the next couple months, even if we are able to get back to business and get back to doing, what it is that we're used to doing. I think there are still going to be people who aren't going to be able to do that, whether they're in a risk group or, they're just being safe, or maybe they really like staying home with their family a lot,
Sure.
So I think that, this delivery option is really kind of cool. And people are liking it. Let's face it, when we get back to business, people might be extremely busy. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how it's going to manifest, right? They got all this, they've been working from home and haven't been able to get to everything because they've been homeschooling or something like that. So we probably will continue to keep going with this delivery thing.
Yeah.
And we've also, we've gotten really good at managing our website. We always had a website for orders and we did online orders. But since it's our only porthole to our customers, we've been really working on that lately. So, some silver linings.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if there's anything else you would like to add, or I guess, could you tell people where they can find you and get your guys' contact information there?
Sure. So you still can stop in at the tasting room, which is in Boston Lake, and pick up wine. We're only open 2 hours a day, just to give people an opportunity to walk in the door. Or you can catch us online. It's galwayrockwines.com. And we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram and all those fun places too, if you want to see some stuff. We're going to start doing some live kind of streaming tastings. So you can,
cool.
We'll go through the flavors of our wines and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on here with us and sharing a little bit about what you guys do. Wishing for continued success, and hopefully we get out of this thing sooner than later for everybody's benefit, obviously.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. And hopefully we can get those houses back on the market and get moving along.
We'll get there. Just it's a little bit of blip on the radar. That's what we're going to look at it as.
That's my thought exactly. It was supposed to be as positive as possible.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Kate. Have a good rest of your day and continued success for you guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right.